From the frozen plains of Manchuria to the humid jungles of Guadalcanal, the Arisaka rifle was the backbone of the Imperial Japanese soldier. It evolved from a complex Meiji-era relic into one of the most rugged bolt-action systems ever fielded. Today, we're tracing the full evolution of the Japanese combat rifle. 6.5mm Arisaka Lineage. The Type 30 infantry rifle, known as the 30, was the weapon that birthed the Arisaka legacy during the turn of the century. You can spot it by the early hooked safety system on the rear of the bolt, a distinct precursor to the famous round safety knob seen on later models. While it was a veteran of the Russo-Japanese War, it served as a reliable second-line workhorse for thousands of occupation troops stationed across China throughout World War II. It was a respected design, though its complex bolt assembly made it prone to jamming if not meticulously cleaned in the field. The Type 35 naval rifle, or simply the 35, was a specialized limited production upgrade built specifically for the elite land forces of the Imperial Japanese Navy. It features a unique manually operated sliding dust cover and modified naval sights designed to withstand the corrosive effects of salt spray and maritime environments. This rifle was a rare sight on the battlefield, seeing most of its action during the early aggressive island-hopping campaigns of the Pacific War. Naval troops prized its better protected action, though its rarity meant that replacement parts were almost impossible to find in the heat of battle. The Type 38 infantry rifle, famously called the long rifle, was the definitive Japanese weapon for nearly 40 decades of expansion. It is instantly recognizable by its extreme 50-inch length and the iconic sliding metal dust cover that shielded the action from the choking grit of the Asian mainland. This was the primary infantry rifle of the Imperial Japanese Army for decades, prized for its incredibly flat trajectory and a legendary reliability that earned it a reputation as an indestructible tool of war. Soldiers loved its mild recoil, allowing even less experienced conscripts to remain accurate during the chaos of a frontline engagement. The Type 38 Carbine was the shortened, high-mobility variant of the standard long rifle, designed for those who fought in cramped conditions. It slashes the barrel down to just 19 inches, making it look much more compact and manageable than its massive spear-like infantry counterpart. It was the perfect tool for artillery crews and logistical support units who needed a self-defense weapon that stayed out of the way until the fighting turned into close-quarters desperation. Despite its shorter barrel, it retained the same rugged action as the full-length rifle, providing a punch that surprised many Allied scouts in jungle ambushes. The Type 44 carbine, nicknamed the Cavalry carbine, was a masterpiece of aggression engineered for the frantic pace of mounted combat. You'll notice the heavy, permanently attached spike bayonet that folds neatly into a groove under the forestock when not in use. It was the favorite of elite cavalry and reconnaissance units who needed to transition from a rapid-fire carbine to a deadly spear in one fluid motion. This weapon was a specialist's tool, loved for its balance and the terrifying psychological impact of its integral, needle-pointed steel during a charge. The Type 97 sniper rifle was the elite long-range evolution of the Type 38, specifically tuned for the Empire's most patient killers. It features a turned-down bolt handle and a 2.5x telescopic sight offset to the left of the receiver to allow for traditional stripper clip loading. This rifle was used with devastating effect by trained marksmen in the dense Pacific foliage, allowing them to pick off high-value targets while remaining completely invisible to enemy patrols. It was the ultimate jungle predator, chambered in a 6.5mm round that produced almost no muzzle flash or smoke to give away the sniper's position. Moving from the high-velocity, high-accuracy 6.5 rounds to the heavy-hitting 7.7 round powerhouses, we reach the Showa-era designs. 7.7mm Arisaka Lineage. The Type 99 rifle long was the transitional 99 long that served as a brief bridge between the old world and the new. It retains the classic, elegant, long barrel profile of the Type 38, but is chambered for the much more lethal 7.7mm rimless cartridge. It was only produced in small numbers during the early 1940s, before the military realized that a shorter, more versatile rifle was the only way to survive the changing face of modern warfare. Today, it is a rare collector's piece, representing the final gasp of the long rifle era in the Japanese military. The Type 99 rifle, short, often called the short Arisaka, was the standard issue powerhouse for the brutal second half of the war. It stands out due to its unique folding anti-aircraft wire sights and a wire monopod mounted to the front band, features intended to make the rifle a true multi-purpose tool. This was a hard-hitting, rugged infantry rifle designed to replace the Type 38 with a round that could punch through thick jungle cover and stop an enemy in their tracks. While soldiers often discarded the monopod in the field, they prized the rifle for its immense stopping power during the desperate defensive battles of 1944. The Type 99 sniper rifle was the high-velocity marksmanship variant issued to the most lethal snipers defending the Pacific Islands. It is typically equipped with a fixed 4x telescopic sight that offered significantly better clarity and magnification than the earlier optics used on the Type 97. It utilized the heavy 7.7mm round to pierce through Allied helmet steel and light cover at distances where standard infantrymen couldn't even see the shooter. This weapon was the bane of American officers, serving as a silent and deadly reminder that no part of the jungle was ever truly safe. Beyond the standard infantryman, the evolving nature of air-land battle required specialized, custom-engineered steel. Specialized infantry rifles. The Type 2 Paratrooper rifle, known as the Terra, was a complex masterpiece of engineering designed for the elite Teishin Shudan jump units. You can see the unique metal wedge and bolt system in the center of the stock that allows the rifle to be separated into two distinct pieces for compact transport. It allowed paratroopers to jump with their primary battle rifle attached directly to their harness, rather than relying on separate, easily lost drop canisters. This was a highly specialized and expensive weapon to produce, but it gave Japanese airborne troops a tactical advantage by allowing them to be combat-ready seconds after hitting the ground. The Type 4 and Type 5 rifle was the desperate late-war project famously known by collectors as the Japanese Garand. It is identifiable by its prominent 10-round internal magazine and a profile that was heavily and intentionally inspired by the captured American M1 Garand design. Only a few hundred were ever hand-assembled in the final months of the war, representing a failed, last-ditch attempt to give elite defense units the rapid-fire superiority needed to repel an invasion. It remains one of the rarest rifles in the world, a mechanical ghost of an empire that ran out of time and resources. When domestic factories were pushed to their breaking point by the demands of a global war, Japan looked across the sea to their Axis allies for a solution. Foreign adoptions. The Type 1 rifle, nicknamed the Carcano Arisaka, was an Italian-made hybrid produced specifically to fulfill the needs of the Imperial Japanese Navy. It utilizes a classic Italian Carcano bolt action, but is dressed in Arisaka-style wood and hardware to ensure it felt familiar to a Japanese sailor. Around 60,000 of these rifles were shipped from Italy to Japan, serving as a vital stopgap that allowed domestic factories to focus entirely on the Army's frontline combat needs. While it was a reliable and well-made rifle, it was often relegated to guard duty and second-line naval units, as it used the older 6.5 mm caliber in an era of 7.7 mm dominance. The Arisaka evolution shows a military trying to balance tradition with the brutal reality of modern combat. From the elegant Type 38 to the desperate Type 4, these rifles tell the story of the Japanese Empire's rise and fall. Which of these Arisaka variants do you think was the most effective in the field? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more military history.